I am here, and you are here. And who are you? And who am I? Welcome. Welcome to this moment, to this Great Mother transmission. Take 3 deep breaths with me. Arriving in this opportunity for connection. In every moment, we have an opportunity to connect and deepen in our knowing of who we truly are. Every part of our being is showing us who we truly are. And so when we arrive and when we drop in and feel our own presence in our bodies, we get a glimpse of who we truly are. In just a breath, you become present with yourself. When we breathe consciously and feel that breath in every part of our bodies, nothing else can be happening except that breath. That breath is our gateway into presence. So take a breath with me. When you breathe, have an intention to feel every part of the breath. Let that breath carry you into more presence. When we bring the breath into our bodies and we're aware of that breath, breath is involuntary. We breathe involuntary through our bodies, through that, is it the autonomic nervous system? Whatever is involuntary that just happens in our bodies is that autonomic nervous system. And those scientists and out there, correct me if I'm wrong, write a little note. And so with that involuntary breath, what if we became fully present and conscious of it? And no control of the breath. We're not controlling it, but we're becoming fully aware of every moment of it. Nothing else can be happening when we show up with our breath. So this is a simple presencing tool that you can use anytime during the day. When you feel flustered, when you feel pulled away from center, when you feel pulled away from your own thoughts because other people's thoughts are coming into your field and your mind, other people's agendas for your day, your life. Perhaps you're getting confused with all the information of how you should be living your life. Stop and take a breath. Stop and take a breath. It can be that simple. Take more than one conscious breath. Turn away from everyone and walk into the forest where it's silent, where the trees and the plants and the flowers are breathing consciously, and show up for yourself and just breathe. And stand there with yourself for as long as you need to, breathing, aware of your breath for as long as you need to, whether that's 1, 10, 100 breaths. Stay with your breath until you can feel yourself again. Stay with your breathing until you feel yourself come present again. When you feel flustered in the middle of a conversation with someone who might have a stronger energy than you, someone who might have stronger belief in their ideas, and they're really pushing their belief, someone who might be blaming you for something. In the midst of hearing them or feeling them and their strong energy, where in the past maybe it would create self-doubt in you, or you get flustered or uncentered, in the midst of just listening to them, begin to consciously breathe. You can even say, hey, I need to take a break. I want to really hear you from a place of presence, so I need to stop and breathe. I'll be right back. Or you can just breathe right there and let their voice trail off as not the most present sound. Bring your awareness to your breath and listen to your own breath. And as soon as you become present with your breath, then bring yourself back to that conversation and say, can you repeat that? I needed to go within for a moment and breathe. It's okay to take care of yourself and become present. Do you want to be more present in your life? Do you want to be more present in your relationships? And what does that mean to you, to be present in your life, in your relationships? Think of a relationship right now that would benefit from you being more present. Allow your awareness to go within right now. Close your eyes and breathe. And imagine, how would it feel in your body to be more present with this person? How would you be different if you were more present? How would you be different with them? How would your body feel different? Your voice, your throat, your ability to communicate clearly. Clear mind, calm, clear mind. Relaxed muscles, easy breathing, presence. Really listening. Listening from your heart. When we listen from presence and from our hearts, we hear something very different from the stories that people tell us. People are constantly telling stories. We're people, we tell stories. We're constantly telling stories. Sometimes our stories are coming from a place of needing to be seen, needing to get approval, acceptance, love, to feel safe, to be understood. It's very important for us as human beings to belong, to feel belonging, to feel accepted, to feel loved, to feel seen and heard and respected. And the thing that trips us up, because of our cultural upbringing, most likely, is that we often are telling our stories in the illusionary belief that we aren't loved, that we're not being heard, that we aren't accepted, that we are not being seen. So when we relate to others, our stories, whatever those stories are, have little hooks in them and grasping. We really need to be seen, need to be heard. And if we need to rile someone up to get that attention, we will. And if we need to pull at somebody's heartstrings, we will tell a story from a place of woundedness. We will do whatever it takes to get the energy and attention that we need so that we feel seen and heard and loved and safe. This is what's going on behind the stories. An emotional insecurity and a non-presence. And in that presence, when we come back to it, there's no grasping. And the stories sound very different when there's no grasping in them. From presence, all of our needs are met at home in the belonging in our divine nature. And we can come into our relationships full and self-aware with a preference to connect, not a grasping for connection. We all prefer love, and love is beautiful, and it is our true natures to give it and to receive it. When we are in a place of grasping and non-presence, because the grasping is from a past part of us or a future part of us, not a present part of us. When we grasp for these core needs that don't feel fulfilled. And guess what? Our grasping will never fulfill those needs. Our needs will never be met through that grasping. In fact, it can push people away. Creaky door, creaky door. Breath can bring us back to the present moment. Can you track and locate yourself when you're grasping? Do you know what that feels like in yourself? It's important to start to understand when you move out of presence and into the grasping, into the attachments. This is your key to liberation. When we can understand the subtle ways we begin to grasp, the subtle sensation in our bodies that cue us in, that we are grasping and feeling not in control of our lives, insecure, unwanted, discarded, not heard. It shows up first as a subtle energy vibration in our bodies, a clenching, a contraction, a discomfort. When we can become that aware of ourselves, we can in the moment choose presence. We can in the moment stop and breathe. We can in the moment decide to do something different from the grasping, from the habitual behavior. Do you want to be more present in your life and with the people in your life? When we're present, we can also help others become more present. We can feel their stories and how much of them is present in their communication with us. How much of them is present? I'm hearing you speaking to me. I feel you are 10% present with me right now, and 60% of what you're saying is in the past, and I feel you grasping, wanting something from me. And I feel that there is 30% of you in the future in anxiety about what could happen and what if, and and I don't know, and I'm afraid of what might happen in the future. I want this to happen. What if it doesn't? And what if in that moment we could put our hand on that person's shoulder and look them in the eye and say, hey, I'm here with you. I'm really listening to you right now. Take a breath, drop in with me. I really want to hear what you're saying. And I don't feel you fully here with me right now. Yes, that can intimidate people, because most people don't live fully present in their lives. Most people don't live fully present in their bodies, in their lives. Most people actually are walking around about 5 to 30% present in their day-to-day interactions. Most people are in the past or in the future. And it's a very uncomfortable thing to become present for some people. And so when you show up and you have that eye contact and they're averting their eyes and they feel really uncomfortable because you're looking at them and you're actually present with them, they might need to leave that conversation. They might need to make a joke. They might need to get angry at you and push you away for seeing them. Do you see the paradox in human consciousness, in humanity? We want so badly to be seen and loved. And when we are seen and loved, sometimes it's terrifying. We get angry and we push it away. Have you done this? It's okay. As we choose presence, that is a deeply self-loving act. The more present you are, your self-love grows and expands in you. And you can grow and expand in your ability to see and love others for exactly where they're at, exactly who they are, with no blaming them, judging them. As you become a broader container for your own presence and all the discomfort that comes up in you in your own presence. It's not comfortable at first to see ourselves, to love ourselves, to hear ourselves, to hear the voices in us that are in pain, suffering, feeling unlovable. But before we can truly love, hear, accept, see another person, we have to love, accept, hear, and see ourselves. To the point that we can witness ourselves and love ourselves unconditionally. That's the extent to which we can be that container of presence and love for everyone else around us. And we become a bridge of connection. We become an example of connection. We become an example of love on the planet. And people will run away from us, or they will magnetically be drawn toward us. As we love ourselves deeply, because we are more present and embodied, we become a magnet for the people who are longing for that in their lives. What do you want in your life? Who do you want to be? What kind of example do you want to be for the children? What kind of example do you want to be for your clients, your students, the people that you work with, your family, your partner, your lover? When we walk in integrity, it means we are choosing to be accountable to ourselves every day in more self-love and more presence, to know ourselves, nothing in excess. Let all that is not you fall away. That is the commitment. That is what you're being accountable to. My last words this morning are to not believe that this is an isolated journey. Yes, you got to bring it home. You've got to own it. You have to feel it here, the love, the witnessing, the acceptance, so you can be there for others in that way. And it is building a muscle to be present every day, every moment of the day. Well, that's like enlightenment, right? And that takes practice. It takes practice to be present in every moment of every day. It is the ultimate liberation of your consciousness, right? Because then you are in your creator consciousness. You're fully present with all of the creative energies of the universe right there, with all the options before you, and you are in preference and choosing from the joy and love of your presence what you want in your life. It's an amazing feeling. And to live in that experience is building a muscle. I know that every time I lead a retreat, I let my students and participants know that it's okay if they feel really tired at the end of every day, because I'm asking them to be really present for long periods of time. And in these retreats that are calling for presence, calling for real witnessing, calling for transformation, participants get really hungry and really tired. And that's okay. It's like we need nourishment. We need to be feeding our bodies, really clean food and clean water, and replenishing our electrolytes as we do this work. Like for real. Our bodies are impacted the more present we are. We bring in more photons into our body. Do you understand what I mean by that? Our light bodies are very quickly moving, fast vibrating photons. When we're 10% present, we're much more dense. We're much more dense. Our energy moves slowly. When we are in presence, our photons are moving very fast. Our light bodies fully anchored in our physical form, spiritualizing our flesh. And so we need to drink more electrolytes, it's true, and sleep when we need to sleep, and let that physical body rest and integrate how much more light and vibration we have in our bodies, okay? So as we do this work, you might have more energy as you are more and more presence. And at first you might need to sleep more. It might be exhausting to be present and present and present and witnessing yourself and witnessing the truth of others and witnessing and being present. It's exhilarating. And it's different. It's a shift. It's a shift. And whenever there's a shift, there's an integration process. And so allow for that integration process. Expect an integration process. It may look like a healing crisis. It may look like getting sick suddenly, coming down with something where you need to be in bed and sleep for days. There is nothing you can do that is wrong on this journey of waking up and becoming more present. Trust yourself and work with others on the journey, others who are by your side doing this work. Have an accountability buddy in your life who you can call up, and you both are committed to being present with each other. Have a group of people that you do this work with. Work together. And the last words today are about that. Not doing this alone. This is not the one-man show paradigm anymore. I know I've said this before. This wave of transformation on the planet is a together wave. This is not about one person shining brighter than others. This is not about being the rock star, the superstar, the brightest one, the special one. This is not about you, the ego. This is about all of us. We are all the Christ consciousness on the planet right now, waking up. We are all the God consciousness. Whatever words you want to call this, we are the bright light on the planet, all together. And it's going to happen because we're all together. The healing of the planet, you could call it, again, choose your words. This isn't about the one-man show anymore. We lift each other up. And so don't isolate yourself in this journey. Find the ones who are on that same pace and rate and step of building the muscle of presence at the same time as you are, and work with them. And be the magnet, be the example of love on the planet. Be that presence. The world needs you, humanity needs you. The children need to see that integrity, adults walking in that integrity. So breathe, breathe and become present. Breathe and bring yourself home. Breathe. You are love. Never forget who you are. You are love. Thank you.